Hello dear students, welcome to the discussion of electrostatics. In this video, we will be discussing superposition principle. This is the sixth lecture of the series. Superposition principle of charges. In the last class, we discussed Coulomb's law. In the last two classes, we discussed Coulomb's law. In the last class, we did some problems related to Coulomb's law. Okay, so in this video, we will be discussing superposition principle. So, what is superposition principle? What is a statement? Let me explain. Suppose there is a charge q. Around this charge q, there are a number of charges. Around the charge q, there are a number of charges. There is a q1 charge at a distance r1. There is another charge q2 at a distance r2. And similarly, there is another charge q3 at a distance r3, and so on. There is finally there is a charge qn at a distance r. So we have to find the total force acting on this q due to these charges q1, q2, q3, etc. qn. Okay, we know that Coulomb's law can be used to find the force between only two charges. Okay, if you want to find the force between q and q1, suppose all the charges are positive here, then q and q1 will repel q. If you are finding the force on q1 will repel q in this direction, in the line joining away from q. It is the direction of F1. Okay, the force acting on Q due to Q1. So I will write that force as F1 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. Suppose the medium is here. Q1 by, I will write R1 square. Into that direction, R cap. Let it be R cap. R1 cap. That's right. Similarly, using Coulomb's law, we can find the force on Q due to Q2, this charge, this charge. How can we write? That distance is R2, so we can write like this, 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q2 by r2 square into r2 cap. Similarly, we can find the force on q due to all the individual charges. And finally, I will write F1. It is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 qn by rn square into rn cap. Okay. So what is the total force acting on q? This total force. How to find the total force is explained by superposition principle. Superposition principle explains how to find the total force acting on q when there are a large number of charges, or when there are more than two charges around q. So according to superposition principle, the total force acting on q is the vector sum of f1, f2, etc. up to fn. Okay, so this is superposition principle. The total force acting on q is the vector sum of all the forces. Vector sum of all the forces. I have drawn the force due to q1. Now the force due to q2 is like q2 is repelling this q, so it is away from this like this. Let it is f2. Then I can draw f3. F3 q3 is repelling, q3 repels q, so it is in this direction f3. So how can we add these forces? It's using the vector laws. You know how can we add the two vectors? For adding two vectors, we have a triangle or parallelogram law. If we use parallelogram law, it is like this. How can we add f1? F1 is like we have to complete the parallelogram between f1 and f2, and we have to draw the diagonal. This is the sum of f1 and 2. Let me write f1 2. And after that, I have to add this with the f3, f1 2. This is f1 plus f2. Yeah, I will write f1 plus f2. Otherwise, it will be confusing. And this f1 plus f2 has to be added with f3. For that, I have to again draw the parallelogram completely with the sides f1 plus f2 and f3. Oh, so this will be the sum of f1 plus f2 plus f3. Yeah. See, in this way, you have to add all the forces. Okay. So this is superposition principle. When we have to find the total force acting on a charge q, the the total force is the sum of vector sum of the force acting on q due to individual charges. Read this sentence or the statement of superposition principle. If there are a number of charges q1, q2, etc., qn around a charge q, then according to superposition principle, the total force acting on q is the vector sum of the force on q due to individual charges. This is a statement of superposition principle. You can by heart this for your exam, board exam. Okay. Now, what is the use of superposition principle? Isn't the Coulomb's law enough? As I told you, superposition principle comes into play when we have more than two charges. Okay. So the answer is it is used to superposition principle is used to find the force when there are more than two charges. Okay. So this is the concept of superposition principle. I think you got the idea. Superposition principle is used when more than uh, when there are more than two charges. Okay, like it, like I told you, there is a charge q. Around that charge, there are several charges. Then the total force is the vector sum of the force acting on q due to individual charges. Okay, so by heart the statement, this is uh, this is the content of this video. In this video, I am explaining only superposition principle. In the next video, I will explain the electric field. It's a very important concept. I will explain electric field in the next video. Okay, thanks for watching.